Welcome to Midday. Your news at noon starts now.
It's a scandal that is taking Twitter and Facebook by storm. After 5 years, the Hugh Freeze era at Ole Miss is officially over. Good afternoon and thanks for watching WCBI Midday. I'm Renae Skinner. Last night, Ole Miss announced the resignation of head football coach Hugh Freeze. Freeze willingly stepped down, and assistant coach Matt Luke will serve as interim head coach for the 2017 season. Chancellor Jeff Vitter said in a press conference that Freeze resigning had nothing to do with the ongoing NCAA investigation, but because of, quote, a pattern of personal misconduct. The USA Today reports Freeze used an Ole Miss-issued cell phone to call an escort service in Tampa, Florida in January 2016. Athletic Director Ross Bjork says one call, believed to be a misdial, turned out to be much more. Athletic Director Ross Bjork says, again, that call, believed to be a misdial, turned out to be much more. He also says that if Freeze did not resign, he would have been fired. Well, we are learning more about a beloved Hamilton family involved in a tragic accident Wednesday afternoon. The Toller family was traveling to the beach when an SUV pulled into the path of the Tahoe the family was riding in on highways 45 and 145 near Clarkdale. The crash took away the lives of 16-year-old Gavin Toller and his 57-year-old grandmother, Tyla Toller. Tyla's husband and Gavin's grandfather, Rusty Toller, is in critical condition at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson. Mississippi Highway Patrol Sergeant Andy West says 7 people were inside the Tahoe when a van crashed into it. Friends of the Toller family tell us Gavin, his grandparents, his younger brother, and 3 of their friends were in the Tahoe. The Tollers are members of Hamilton Baptist Church, and their pastor, Robert Moore, spent time with the family in Jackson on Wednesday. Well, Lowndes County deputies believe a Tabernacle Road home was targeted before gunmen burst through the doors, shooting one person inside the mobile home. Investigators say just before midnight Wednesday, at least 2 men entered the home. They were armed and wearing camouflage and black clothing. The person that was shot is in stable condition. Deputies say 2 victims were assaulted and will recover. No arrests have been made. The investigation is ongoing. It's also unclear why the gunmen targeted the victims. Time now to get the latest on our afternoon forecast. It's still hot out there. Here's meteorologist Alex Puckett.
That's right, Renee. That's basically the whole forecast for today. Starting off with a look at radar. Not much showing up here, just a little bit of ground clutter, and that's unfortunate because we could use some relief from a few showers and thunderstorms, although we may see a couple more pop up as we get later on into the afternoon. Air temperatures in the 90s this afternoon to kick things off, but those heat index values already in the triple digits across much of the area. That's prompting a heat advisory for all of our viewing area. That's going to go until 7 o'clock this evening. I'll have details on when we can expect a little bit of relief from this heat, though, and some a higher rain chances coming up in a few more minutes. Renee?
Relief sounds like some good news, Alex. Thank you for that update. Well, more good news. The state of Mississippi added 4,000 jobs in June. According to the Mississippi Department of Employment Security, the number of non-farm jobs rose in Mississippi in June. The unemployment rate is 5%, the second lowest rate the state has seen since 1979. The latest jobless rate is 1/10 of a percentage point higher than it was a month earlier in May, when the rate was 4.9%. A year ago, Mississippi saw a 5.9% unemployment rate. For the second month in a row, Alabama sees another drop in unemployment. According to the Alabama Department of Labor, June's jobless rate is 4.6%, a drop from May's 4.9% rate. Last year, June's unemployment rate in Alabama was almost 6%. Governor Kay Ivey says the state's economy is growing, adding more jobs to the private sector. In our area, Pickens County's unemployment rate came in at 6.8% in May. It was 5%. Lamar County saw a 5.1% rate, an increase from the 3.9% jobless rate it saw in May. A big crowd was on hand in Caledonia as city leaders took their oaths of office yesterday to begin a new term. Mitch Wiggins defeated incumbent Bill Lawrence by 1 vote Wednesday to become the newly elected mayor of the small town. He will be joined by 3 other newly elected officials. After all of the controversy that surrounded the mayoral race, city leaders say they're ready to put everything behind them and get started.
We're just glad it's over. Of course, this is the second election, but I think everybody's happy. The town, spoke. We got it right, and we're going to move forward. So just kind of, relieved, excited, ready to get going.
Shortly after the swearing-in ceremony, the board held its first meeting to appoint its town officials. Well, good news for nonprofit organizations in Columbus. Yesterday, the Exchange Club handed out thousands of dollars in grants to several well-deserving groups. Nearly $6,000 in grants was handed out yesterday at the Exchange Club of Columbus luncheon. The Columbus Arts Council, Camp Rising Sun, and Safe Haven, just to name a few, were among this year's recipients. The executive director for Golden Triangle Regional Airport, Mike Hainsey, met with the Rotary Club of West Point to give updates on how business is going. The biggest question lately has been, are we adding another airline to the flight schedule? Well, Hainsey confirmed that the airport is negotiating on a westward flight to Dallas with American Airlines. GTR has been able to bring together a $2 million incentive to bring this flight to the area. Hainsey believes there are many factors that should make American want to say yes. Well, you might say yes to this. Today is the start of tax-free weekend in Alabama. Residents are preparing for the deals that lie ahead. Most are on the hunt for school supplies, but some are willing to venture out to the bigger cities for tech equipment such as computers and laptops.
And I'm going to buy till I can't buy no more.
Clothes, school supplies, lunch bags, backpacks.
We went and got backpacks, and we got a real good deal on them with no taxes.
Looking for a laptop, so yeah, I'll be taking advantage of it.
Well, for a full list of tax-exempt items available this weekend, you can head on over to our website at WCBI.com. The people are saying it's time for peace. A community is coming together in light of the officer-involved shootings in Minnesota. More on this story after the break. Welcome back to WCBI Midday. Now to a developing story out of Washington. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer is resigning his position. According to two people with knowledge of the decision, one of those people said Spicer is quitting because of objections over the appointment of a new White House communications director, New York financer Anthony Scaramucci. The people with knowledge of the decision insisted on anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the personnel matter publicly. Well, there has been a shakeup of President Trump's legal team defending him in the Russia investigation. An investigation that is now looking into Trump family finances as it looks into possible ties with Russia. Weijia Jiang has more details from the White House.
President Trump and his legal team are pushing back against special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into possible Trump ties to Russia.
The question isn't what is there to hide. The question is, what was the purpose of this investigation in the first place? Russia.
Mueller's investigation has expanded to the president's personal and family finances. Mr. Trump has warned that could be crossing a line.
I think that's a violation. Look, this is about Russia.
In response, the president and his team are questioning Mueller's objectivity and looking into past political donations of the special counsel's team members.
These were significant donations by members of that team. They clearly wanted the other person to win.
President Trump's legal team insists there is no truth to media reports that the president is looking into the possibility of issuing pardons for his associates. Attorney Jay Sekulow told CBS News pardons are not being discussed and are not on the table. Meanwhile, the president has shaken up his legal team. His personal lawyer, Mark Kasowitz, is out. He's been replaced by Ty Cobb. Kasowitz's spokesperson, Mark Corallo, resigned. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
CBS News has also confirmed that special counsel Mueller's team is investigating the business dealings of President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. Manafort has been invited to testify before Congress next week, but has yet to accept the invitation. Meanwhile, the Minneapolis police chief says the shooting death of an Australian yoga teacher by an officer should not have happened. Justine Damon called 911 to report a suspected sexual assault Saturday. State investigators say when police arrived, she was shot and killed by Officer Mohammed Noor. People gathered yesterday to remember Damon and demand justice. Jamie Yukas is in Minneapolis.
Justine didn't have to die.
Minneapolis Police Chief Renae Skinner had harsh criticism for the actions of Officer Mohammed Noor the night Justine Damon died.
On our squad cars, you will find the words, to protect with courage and serve with compassion. This did not happen.
Damon called 911 2 times Saturday after hearing what she thought was a rape in the alley behind her home. Officers Noor and Matthew Harity responded. According to state investigators, Harity drove down the alley and said he was startled by a loud sound just before Damon appeared at his door. Noor fired a single fatal shot from the passenger seat, killing Damon.
It is my belief that the body camera should have been activated.
Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace!
Shortly after the press conference, protesters marched through the streets in South Minneapolis. Justine's fiance, Don Damon, joined the crowd at a vigil outside his home. By his side, the mother of Philando Castile, who was shot and killed by a police officer from a nearby department last summer.
We're just here to support the family. That's it.
Officer Noor still has not spoken to authorities. His attorney says he doesn't intend to until the investigation is completed. As for the police chief, she said she has not spoken out publicly until now because she had been on a backpacking trip in a remote area and had difficulty getting back. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Minneapolis.
And we will have more midday after the break. But first, a weather update. Alex, how's it looking out there?
It's another hot and humid one today, but we will see rain chances increase as we head towards the weekend.